I find this to be the most promising moment I have ever been on this planet. It is so exciting. So many opportunities. I'm talking to freaking presidents, dude, and vice presidents over Bitcoin. Okay, not over natural gas or how cool Gary Cardone is or what my following is. Dude, Bitcoin has so much gravity. Like, I do a bunch of surveying on some of these social media things. Just run a survey. Do you want me to talk about prosperity, family health, dating, or Bitcoin? 74% Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin. And it's not just a small group of people. That group is growing. Now, I would like to see us have more tangential. Let's expand that collection of people. And there's so many subjects that I think can be correlated with Bitcoin that are tangential to the decentralization, the power of you and I coming together. There's going to be so much opportunity. As long as we're not censored, this is going to be a golden age of opportunity, and it's going to be extremely painful for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned, by the way, the ownership part of it, because that for me was also something it kind of woke me up immediately. I had some gold in London where I lived part of my life. And when I wanted to move to Dubai, I mean, first of all, I didn't own the gold. Like someone promised me on paper that I had some, but they had it, as well as real estate. You never truly own it because either the bank has it until you pay back the mortgage or the government allows you to own it.
Yeah,
So it's not really
that's right.
yours. Plus, if you have to pay a tax on ownership, that's not yours because you have to pay someone to own it. So that means you don't have it. And then what all my friends, like I'm almost 50 years old, and all my friends are like, oh, my life goal is to get a good job, get a mortgage, and make an investment. No, 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 no. That's a liability. An asset is something else. Guys, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, read that book. Listen to the podcast, watch him talking on YouTube, whatever your choice of consuming content is. Please, before you say that if you do a mortgage, 90% mortgage is an investment, is an asset, that's a liability. But like I said to you in the beginning, the problem with society, or the opportunity with, if you want to be optimistic, is we don't know what money is, we don't know what property is, we don't own anything. We've been put into a place from society. We are the perfect product to be milked off. I travel extensively in my life. My documents are all mixed up. My driving license is British. My passport is Italian. It's all over the place. And every time I want to do something, they give me so much in trouble with it because now my passport doesn't match my license. It can be converted. They hate the fact that I moved a lot, and so they cannot tax me. I live in Dubai. They don't like it. So then the people in the UK, they don't care because I'm not British. People in Italy, they don't care because I left. Because they don't want you to break the matrix and be free. They don't want you to experience because I'm not good for them. Like everything I have is in Bitcoin, which means it's truly mine because it's self-custody in my own hands. So they can't take it. And if someone comes tomorrow and say, sorry, I forgot the password, I really can't remember it. And there is no way for anyone to come in my life, and they can try, they can torture me, they can put me in jail, but I have the option to say no. This is so
That's right.
much power you have in your hands, whether everything else is in the bank. Right. You think the bank has your money? Right. Do you think you own your house? Right. So what do we have, Gary? I mean, what is the only weapon we have to fight through ownership, to fight, to fight inflation, to fight portability, divisibility? And the more I think about this, and the more I can't find anything else. It doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. So then the game becomes, I want to have as much as possible of that thing because that thing is the only thing I can truly own. I can take it with me. If I remember 18 words, I can carry millions of dollars with me naked into a sea, swim into a sea. I don't even need anything. Done. It's the most secure, safe network on the planet.
Yeah, you said something about your friends leaving college, starting their career, and what their goals were. I think their goal should be like the right answer is, hey, I want to be free. It's not, I want to own a house, I want to be a doctor. If you just go back to core principles, hey, I want to make $200 million. All right, well, you can become an arms dealer, drug dealer, prostitute. You can go on social media and create a bunch of noise, be pretty unproductive, and caustic to society. There's a lot of things you can do to make money. To be free. To be free is the goal. Okay, like, and now we have to now go, well, what does that mean? Because I don't think anybody actually can define free. I mean, I think I have a very, very good definition now, but even that definition is quite negative. Half of it's negative. Half of my definition for freedom is to be able to say, no, I am not doing that. I mean, this last business I had that was probably worth it was probably worth 800 million, and we ended up having to dump it for probably half because we couldn't get our brains out of our ass. But and this is what happens when people's agendas change. You're building a business with someone, and you start making a bunch of money, and you realize, oh, your partner's not really in it for the money; they're in it for the trophies. But I'm in it for. I'll take my chips off the table and let's move to another table, please, because I get bored with businesses. Like once I figure out a game, I'm like, okay, I don't want to do this for the next 40 years, dude. I'm not going to learn anything. For me, that's part of my freedom. At 41 years old, I'd worked for one company for 17 years. The CEO of the company told me they were going to make $1 billion in cash the next year. And I sold all my stock right after the phone call. Because I was like, dude, there ain't no chance of us making $1 billion in cash unless we're going into the heroin business. And I ain't doing that. And they wouldn't have either, but they were trying to do a pivot, and I went, dude, your pivot's too heavy. Now, why am I bringing all that up? Because I stopped being free in that company. I was making $7 million a year. I'm not bragging, okay? I'm just telling you. I got a limo driver. I live on 7 acres out in the country in England, dude, on a, pristine river, chalk stream river. I mean, the 400-year-old house. The Brits hated an American owning this home. My neighbor was Tony Schechter, the racing car driver. They didn't like all that change, right? So I'm sitting there going, hey, look, I'm having headaches all the time. I've got 3 telephones. They ring off the wall. I'm managing 600 people. I think this market's not, I think I've sponged everything out of this market that I can, and I'm starting not to have fun. And I'm sitting there going, okay, no, you can't just quit. I mean, nobody quits a career of 22 years. I'm like, why? Why is it that I think I have to become a slave to the first industry that I went into? Called my boss up, said, 6 months, bro, you got 6 months. Knowing full well that it was more scary for me to leave that industry than it was to stay. My ego was the only thing keeping me there, and the money. And ego is just money, okay? When you think about money, hey, it's just an ego thing, okay? Because there's just not much more I need, dude, really. I mean, I could have a bunch of fancy boats. I just rented 2 jet skis for $500. I don't need to buy jet skis. I'm not going to use a bunch of jet skis, even though I live on the water. I'm not going to use them every day. So freedom for me is to say, no, I'm done. And then also to be able to say yes to anything. Yes, let's go to Turkey tomorrow morning the way I want to go to Turkey. Or, yeah, let's go have a $4,000 dinner. Or let's go fishing for $20. It doesn't matter, right? But I have the freedom to say yes and no without equivocation. Like full on, man. Hey, I think, and by the way, I'm going to go on Twitter and I'm going to say what I really mean. And if they don't like it, they can terminate me. All I'm asking you to, let me get my audience up so large so that when I do get terminated, he said they were going to terminate him because he's being honest, at least in my opinion. Okay. This is just my opinion. And I can do so without being radical or irrational or caustic to other people. I don't need to hurt anybody. I'm not calling anybody bad things. I just think we're all uneducated. And if you can't agree on what freedom is, not one school ever taught you that, dude. You could spend 30 days to a whole semester on that subject. Do you know how cool that would be, dude? Every 3 years from elementary school, you have a 6-month freedom discussion, because that's going to change as people grow and evolve, right? Like I am going to spend the rest of my life and all the I'm going to make $1 billion in Bitcoin. Like that's my goal. I want to make $1 billion. I will deploy every penny back into fixing this train wreck we have. And that's the only reason I want to get rich from this. Otherwise, I would just be quiet. But the way I do things, see, this is like I come into a space and I'm like, I'm in, dude. Let's go. I want more. I want to be more involved. I want to meet more people. Because for me, it's exciting. Like it's fun. I don't play sports. I don't gamble. I mean, if I want to gamble, dude, I don't need to go to a casino. I hate going to the casinos because I win 40 grand and then I got to go wait in line for like 12 minutes to get my bloody money. Do this with crypto all day long. I'm not waiting in front of a fence and getting my picture taken. Freedom, though, if we just define freedom, and by the way, it is not free. Okay, it requires me to not be liked by people. I mean, I get hate mail, dude. Like people go, and then you add my twin to it, who he'll say whatever, and they think half the people think I'm him. I mean, these people they're so mean. That's cool. You just got to put up with it, right? There's nothing in the 5 years, 6 years, 7 years that I've studied in Bitcoin added on top of the 35 years of all the payment industry, the M&A, the real estate, the energy. Ain't one, there's not a hair, dude, hanging out or a nail hanging out that gives me any doubt about Bitcoin other than this freedom thing. Okay. And the most important one, because like my allocation of Bitcoin is in the 80s. So like you, I'm pretty deep into this thing. The only thing that messes us up is the war. Okay. Biden is going to take us to war. Macron's going to take us to war. Whoever's running your show in Italy is going to take us to war because they actually do not control their countries. There are 4 men or women in the EU sitting in Brussels who are a bunch of scumbags. Okay, all 4 of you complete criminals. Because you know what? I don't even know your name, dude. Most people don't. Remember, if there's obfuscation somewhere, anywhere, there's a crime going on. That's a core principle, okay? If you don't know the 4 people running the EU, I think it's NATO, by the way. That's who's running Europe. NATO. They're not actually even people. NATO. It's called NATO. And that's the only thing holding Europe together. It's not the euro. Euro is going to get slaughtered. This country, we will start deporting people. Your country will not. No one in Europe is going to deport anyone, and you're doing nothing to assimilate all these cultures. It is an impossible problem to solve. It will end up in massive civil unrest. That's the only solution for this. You can't have all these people coming into your company and they all have different principles and beliefs. The mission of the Company of Italy is this, and then 10% of your population, people that are working for that mission, are literally against the mission. Like it's going to be a failed entity. And if we just look at this as business, I was on the phone with Vivek Ramaswamy, who's going to probably be a very serious player in the Trump administration, and the head of the RNC this morning. And I'm like, hey, what are we going to do? What are we going to do with all these people when they want to start keeping their jobs inside Washington? And he's like, what do you mean? I said, this problem does not get fixed, dude, from the inside. You have to get rid of them all. Okay, they're going to trip you up the entire time. It's 23-year-old, 26-year-old, 28-year-old analysts that are writing all this stuff. Now, the funny thing is, a dumb guy like me from Louisiana, I'm starting to get messages on my damn phone. Hey, this is Congresswoman XYZ, and we would like to know how you would like us to vote on the FIT 21 bill. Huh? Like, I just met him 3 months ago. So now I have serious politicians. These people are going to be in office next year, pinging me, little old me. And I think this is great for the Bitcoin industry because I'm not the only one that will be getting these messages. And they're going, hey, we don't know. We don't know anything about this. How would you like us to vote? So we have a really cool opportunity if we become less tribalistic and less polarized. So it's not good marketing, okay? Let some people just help these politicians through this. Let's talk about jobs, not breaking the Fed up. It's a hard sell, dude. It's a hard sell for a vice president to walk in and go, we're going to the Fed up. Come on, man. Like, first off, you could mess the Fed up and it still doesn't solve the problem. Okay? You got to manage the IMF. Then you got to manage the BOE. Then you got to manage the BOJ, Bank of England, Bank of Japan. Come on, man. This is a problem, okay? It's a whole club of 100-year club. This is a big job, and it's the most important time in the history of the last 300, 400, 500 years, dude. I mean, it's serious, okay? You have an entire machine built on fraud, crime, and abuse, where I am in the 1%. I am proud to, in fact, I am in the very top of the food chain, okay? So I am very proud to be there. I will fight for every inch of that 1%, dude. And the only reason somebody's in the 98, their parents and their teachers did not teach them. This is a choice you have. It's not going to change. There's still going to be a bell curve, right? And there's going to be people on the 1 or 2% on the prosperity side, and there's going to be 1 or 2% on the poor side, because that's a bell curve. That's just the way it works out. And there's going to be all these people in the middle. Dude, the people in the middle are getting slaughtered. You don't go hunting for the animal that's like rabbit, like on the very end of that ugly food chain in poverty, okay? You have to go for the middle. And if I'm the Fed politician, dude, I am just hammering the middle, okay? They can't hammer me, dude. I can leave, okay? My bank charges me fees. I think I get a $12 fee every day, okay? At the end of the year, none of your people do this. End of the year, I've been doing this for a decade. Hey, all those fees, scratch them, dude. I want all that money back then. I just do it once every year, December. Hey, Brad, $12,000 in fees. I want them all back. Oh, okay. Sorry, sir. Like, literally, that's what it takes. Yeah. In fact, I don't even make the phone call anymore. Hey, Brad, reverse all the fees. $7 trillion in fees from banks and credit card companies every year just for that kind of shit. $7 trillion, man. You know what $7 trillion would be like back in the U.S. population, much less your country. They're raping you guys. Not you, but the Europeans. To me, it's a great time to be in the space, man. We haven't even said a word about price, have we? A year ago, it was only talking price. Today, very few people ask about price today. I travel a lot, meet a lot of people. I was in Austin at Consensus. Not one person asked me, hey, how's the price doing? When that happened, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This is it. So I don't need to talk about price. I think price is stupid. I own a bunch of Bitcoin. I need to have more Bitcoin tomorrow than I have right now.
Yeah.
That's all I care about right now, okay? I need more Bitcoin. I could care less if the price is 35,000. I mean, will it impact me? It'll impact me. I'll get a little nervous, and then I'll go sell everything. Everything else is sitting in fiat.
Same.
I mean,
Same
just
page.
smash it. I'll sell this house so fast. This is a one-way ticket. I just cannot tell you when the party really starts. I think it's going to continue to be a violent ride because there's too many weird people holding really cheap Bitcoin. By weird, I mean, I don't think they've really entered the real world. And like, I would love to meet with any and all of them. I'm not the enemy to them, but I hear people saying, I am never going to sell my Bitcoin. I think I can turn people around on that in 15 minutes. Okay. This is not cool that you don't want to sell your Bitcoin. I need $1 billion to fight with these people, bro. Like, if you have $400 million, call me, okay? I'll show you how we can just monsterly make change. As a group of people with a load of money, you know, I get on a private jet, grab a couple of people, grab Kathy Woods, and we go to Washington. Everyone will listen to us, okay? Give a little money to some of these politicians that are doing something we don't want to do. You have to look at the enemy, okay? The enemy is playing this game very, very well. For us to sit there and go, I'm holding on to my Bitcoin. I'm going to stay in a third world country with 2G, no air conditioning. I'm free, I'm free, I'm free. And you're like, dude, you're sitting on $400 million and it's doing nothing. You're not advancing society. You ain't doing it. Oh, okay, cool. El Salvador would be a great place. I think that's a great experiment, but like, let's go move to Turkey and do it. Turkey needs Bitcoin. I think Turkey goes, dude. I keep saying for a year and a half, Turkey is going to put Bitcoin on its balance sheet. Why? Because the guy is screwed, dude. He's in the middle of Storm Alley. You know, he's NATO's little, okay, but he needs all the European energy, the Asian energy, the Middle Eastern energy. He doesn't really, dude, he's in such a bizarre place, right? He's just boxed in from every angle. Him, the United Kingdom's in a similar position. It's just going to take one or two smart, and look, who were going to end up in politics last year? I was just talking to this guy at the RNC. I said, dude, we need a bunch of 30-year-olds. You're 60, I'm 60. The 30-year-olds, let's put them in office and then let's be their alpha dog. Let's just mentor the heck out of them, keep them in line, you know, and let's build a great country again. Let's build a country based on business principles. We've done all the politics. Why don't you give us 20 years to do it business-wise? Run it like a business. P&Ls, budgets, who's winning, who's not winning. Oh, Montana, you made a bunch of money. Wisconsin's failing. Make a bid for them. We don't need 52 states. Let's have 30. And if the guy in California can't run the damn state and the guy in Vegas can, give Vegas damn California, let them run it. Like, we must rewrite everything, okay? This is not going to be this is going to be a massive step change. This is not about, hey, let's evolve into some kind of little evolution over 30 years. We don't have 30 years, okay? I'm not even sure we have 3. Because my premise, and like the only thing I want your people to really understand is that I am going to make an enormous amount of money from this position. And there's only one thing that can go wrong. World War, dude. These crazy motherfuckers hitting the buttons and creating more and more and more problems. Like, I have never been in a thesis where I'm like, the only thing that can go wrong is the politicians. Oh my goodness. Okay. And I'm just talking about my money. Y'all should be talking about your children, dude. Because we're not sending our kids to any wars. That is not happening. We're going to continue to send you guys to war, and we're going to give you weapons. But we're not going to lose our arms and our heads. It's not happening. And I am asking the politicians, actually. I was with Vivek about 6-7 months ago, and I said, hey, Vivek, let's make it a new rule. If we go to war or we support war, we send our own peeps, dude. And no mother and father are going to vote for that war. But when you can just send the Ukrainian people who, you know, we don't know who Ivan is. It's kind of like, don't tell me. I can't hear it. I don't see it. And by the way, you have to bring our pictures back. I want to see the images of dead people. I want to see the images of broken up kids, hospitals that have been destroyed, people slaughtering each other. That is censorship for me not to see that. I want to see it. And the reason we're not seeing it is because you guys will start freaking out if you see it. Okay. And you'll start fighting back. But because you can't see it, you just go watch a movie and you hear about it and you're like, well, whatever. It's not me. Yes, it is you. It is absolutely you. Okay. Being ignorant in this situation is not an excuse. Not anymore. 10, 20 years ago, dude, there's no excuse for being ignorant now and remaining that way. So if you're not going to get off your ass, you're not going to make donations, you're not going to build businesses, you're not going to take risks, I maintain you are part of the problem. Okay, like I could hire 100 people, dude. 100 people right now. I hired a 27-year-old kid just to run my business. He doesn't even know anything about investing. But he's a good kid, he's smart, he's teachable. He's not. His ego isn't all up his butt, and and he doesn't want $8 million just to work for me. Like he's looking at it, and everybody I've introduced him to, everybody my age. I mean, hey man, 27-year-old kid just hired him. He's going to be the president of my company. This is a total experiment. Okay, and I've done this before, but I've never done it in public. And so this kid, now he may not know it, but like he has more risk than I do. The moment he is no longer with me, people are going to go, dude, I thought you were Gary's apprentice. I mean, you should have done that job for at least 2 years, right? So he's going to find himself in an interesting little dilemma of, oh, I need this to work. I will most certainly make it work. My point is, Vivek, Reince, and all these other guys, when I tell them the story, every one of them look at him and go, you are one lucky MF, dude. To be able to, 27, go work for a cat and like literally I'm surprised he's not here. He has another meeting. He's in every meeting I'm in. He's my bag rat. That's what I call him. You're my bag rat. You take all the notes. You keep the phone calls, the email addresses. You follow up. You do all the stuff after we have a meeting. And now we have 2 points of contact inside my company, not one. I'm able to train him on the day. Like he's not learning theoretically. He's actually, we just raised $12,000, dude. Took me 12 minutes. He said, who should we call? I started going through my, hey, Bob, I need you to help me. Sure, dude, I'll do $5,000. Hey, man, I need $1,000 from you. June 19th, okay? Oh, yeah, I'll help you. And he's like, wow, you just pitched. We guaranteed to give the group $5,000. I think we ended up giving them 15 or 20 G's. So we didn't have a big meeting. How are we going to raise $20 million? Like the agenda would go out. There'd be an email. Oh, I can't do 9 a.m. on Thursday. I need to change. No, dude, we just sat down and had a meeting. Hey, let's go raise $20,000 right now. Let's get done. So to be able to move that fast and not to have to study your navel, if you guys can go to work for someone that can help you do that, I mean, your country, dude, 18 to 28, the unemployment rate is over 43%. Italy has a massive problem in 2030 to 2040. You literally have an entire generation that has no clue how to go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. They don't know how to get to the office on time because you missed 10 years of training them. There is an art to going to the office every day. Yeah. And if you can't do that, dude, like you can't get to the next step, right? I mean, I can't score a run in cricket if I don't pick up the cricket bat, right? I can't get to second unless I get to first. There's some real fundamental things people have to do just to get the basics under. And I have a job if I live to 120, I'm employable. I'm not so sure about the guys between 25 and 50. They get slaughtered in this change that we're going through, in this, what I call a digitization event. That group of people get absolutely slaughtered. The guy that's making $220,000 a year, $180,000 a year working for that big corporate, and he's getting $12,000 a year in his 401k, dude, you're going to get slaughtered. Absolutely slaughtered, because you only know one thing. And you haven't studied in a long time. So you don't even have the discipline of studying. This is a world where, one, you don't need any of the old experience, but you must be willing to study quite a bit.
I completely agree. What I can see coming in from people, they like to blame, oh, but it's not my fault, it's because of that. Well, it's always your responsibility. It's always your fault, and it's always because of you've done something. So, because people don't want to take control, right? They rather blame someone else. There's a quote that I love that it says, when you point one finger, 3 fingers are pointing back right at you. So you are the reason why this is not functioning. You are the reason why you are winning. But people don't want to take responsibilities. When I left my country like almost 30 years ago, traveled around, and I used to get really mad when people used to say to me, "You are so lucky." I used to be really mad. Now I say, "Yes, I am very lucky," because what I say, I become, right? But that's another kind of, I went through it. But in the beginning, I was like, "Hey, what do you mean lucky? No one gave me the ticket. I didn't speak English. I had to learn a language. I couldn't speak Mandarin. I had to learn the language. What do you mean lucky?" And I was getting really frustrated, whether in my definition, luck is preparation meeting opportunity. So you create your own opportunity. So by definition, you are lucky. It feels like every time I talk to someone like yourself that I respect so much, there are some common ground principles that they take us into a bucket, which is like the Bitcoin bucket, because we see life through the same lens. We want to be free. We want to own properties. We want to change the world. We want to do something about it. I hate procrastinating. That doesn't take me anywhere. Accept or change. So you don't like your job, change it. You don't like your wife, divorce. You don't like your friends, find new friends. You like them, great, keep them. As simple as that. But people like to procrastinate. But then I have to go. You gotta break your comfort zone to grow. If you don't break it, you will never grow. You'll stay in the same spot always. So you have to get out and get uncomfortable. Then you will expand your kind of mindset. You gotta wake up in the morning with that fire saying, I wake up and I choose to go to the office. Like that job I have, I want it. That's freedom.
Yeah. That gets back to like if you go back and hey, what's freedom? If you had a course on freedom in high school, like I think good 40 or 50% of the people go to work every day just to get the out of their house. Okay. Like COVID was a problem. Like people are married couples. I don't care how cool you are as a married couple, but I ain't hanging around anybody for 24 hours a day, dude. Like it's hard enough to hang around with myself for 24/7. Okay. I have enough little things to deal with. But if we go back to the freedom thing, you're in a game and you're having fun. You're laughing. I have always looked at this as a game. I mean, I was with my brother the other day and I said, hey, bro, if we went back in time, like, would you just chase the money or just do what you do? He said, I would absolutely chase the money. I would go to work on Wall Street. I wouldn't have done what I did. Now, I know why he's saying part of that because I think his journey into like the automobile dealership thing was like, I told him for 10 years, like, dude, you got to like move out of that. It's just small and, who wants to be a car salesman, right? Or even teach car salesmen. It took him a long time. He was scared, man. Like it took him a long time. I was making millions and millions of dollars when I was 37, and he was still grinding it out, writing a book, and so he ended up doing extremely well. But it was literally in the last 13 years, dude. The first 50 years of his life, he was not like rolling. He was grinding hard, man. I mean, it looked painful to me. And I'm flying on private jets and helicopters working on $1 billion deals. And he's grinding, selling car dealers. I'm like, ugh, I didn't think my bro was going to end up there. And then he just smashed it. Dude, if you're not doing that, you need to go find something you want to do. There is no amount of money in the world worth going somewhere for 8 hours. In fact, I already know it. See, I overpay everyone. I had a whole team of people here. Hey, how much do you want? 96 grand. Okay. How much do you want, secretary? 60 grand, 55 grand. I'll pay you 60. Hey, how much do you want? I need 5 grand a month. Okay. I love overpaying people because then I can look at them and go, hey, look, dude, I'm paying you 60 G's a year and you have 7 other clients. How about you have 6 clients now? Okay. Because I don't need part-time guys. I can outsource this to India all I want. You that's making 96, he wants a smaller role. Oh, okay. How about 0? Now you get to go do your own podcast and be a Gary Cardone. Good luck. You don't have any content. All you podcasters got to sit there and think, hey, like, what am I going to do when I run out of content? Bitcoin is not going to be a conversation forever and ever. Like I refuse to get on the TV with these people and talk about a $12 price movement or 10%. I'm like, what? Why are you guys worried about a 10% price move, dude? Why are you even looking at the day chart? You're not a day trader. Well, why don't you go back to work instead of listening to me on X? Okay, I'm getting ready to do a survey. I don't think anyone works 40 hours a week anymore. And guess what? You're going to have to I'm working 80 to 100. So are you. The difference is it ain't work to me. So you're competing with a champion who has 50 years of successes and failures under his belt. So many little lessons learned over the pathway. They sit in my front, back, and underwear. Like I don't even have to go look at a book anymore. Oh yeah, this is rule 72, part A. When this happens, you do this. So you're competing with a guy who like is having a fucking blast doing it. I'll work from about 10 a.m. in the morning until 11 o'clock at night, and none of it's work. In fact, I'm getting ready to go jet skiing with my kids, and I would prefer to do this, but as soon as I switch off, dude, I'm going to go have a blast with those guys. And everything I do at the moment, I'm in the moment, I'm doing it, I'm having a good time. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it. I'll go hire someone to do the stuff I don't like to do. Right? So freedom, you have to, if we just all go back to go, I mean, whoever's listening to this, I'm going to give you a little tutorial job. Just take 15 minutes today. Like it's 1:35 here, 7:35 where you are. No, it's probably 11 o'clock at night where you are. Just take 15 minutes and say, what is freedom to me? Then ask yourself, am I free? What is freedom to you as a definition? Am I free? Once you get through that exercise, ask the next question. Is what I am doing as a business, or in fact even as pleasure, adding value to this planet? If you cannot definitively say, oh yeah, I bring value. See, I can say without an ego, I am bringing value to you. You will do this again with me. You will call me up and go, hey, can I do that again, please? It's not the same repetitious, like it's just me speaking from my heart, my education. If you cannot define the value that you bring to you, your family, and the people around you, you need to figure that out because you're going to go broke financially and spiritually. If the company you're working for, most people need to work for companies. Do not listen to these motivators and rich people, the rich man, poor man guy. He owns 30 Bitcoin, okay? I'm not impressed. If you tell me Bitcoin's worth that much and then you go, you only own 30, bro, something's wrong with that theory. You either not as rich as you said you were. Like, I don't get that, okay? Like, he should be saying, I own at least 300 if he's such a player. I've never written a book. I own way more than 300. I mean, my goal is to own 1,000. That is my goal. See, now I have a game. I got to get 1,000. How do I get 1,000? It's a problem that I get to solve. Anyway, if you cannot define the value that your company brings, you need a new job. And by the way, the value isn't being a middleman and clipping a fee, taking a fee for an introduction. That is not value. Okay, that's parasitic, and it's going away. All the middlemen are going away, dude. Blockchain or no blockchain, all the middlemen are going away because the economics will force the middlemen out of the system. We cannot afford it anymore. So those are cool things. What is freedom? Am I free? What value am I delivering? And what value is the company I'm working for delivering? If you can't be clear on those two last answers, you need a new job, a new role, a new theater upon which you dress on the stage and you play a role in this act we call living on planet Earth. It's just a theatrical event, man. If we look at it that way, it's just okay. And just to get back to this thing, most people should not run their own businesses, okay? You guys, you can get rich without owning your own business. There are only so many generals in military events. There's only so many you don't have 17 prime ministers of Europe. You have one, man. Okay? So not everyone's going to be the CEO. I was not ready to be a CEO of anything. I wasn't ready to be a CEO of my own life, man, until I was probably 50. Really? 35, something like that. I had to get some losses and wins under my belt. Like being a good soldier has made me a really good general. Because I get this comment a lot. Oh, he's the Cardone. He's the man of the people. I love that. I think that is the greatest compliment anyone can give me. I actually get a little teary-eyed because I don't want to seem to be, oh, he's really rich. Okay, I am, but big deal, dude. I have bowel movements. I urinate. I get unhealthy. I'm just a bloody human being. I got lucky, and I'm going to refuse not to communicate that I was lucky and I worked my ass off, and everybody else can have this too. It's not like I was born with a Harvard degree and know everyone. I don't. I know very few really, really well-connected people. So that's the assignment for your group. Hopefully they'll do it. If you don't do this assignment, if you don't do the assignment, you're the first guy that should be hiring someone like yourself or me to figure out what's wrong with you. It's 15-minute exercise. What is freedom? And are you free? And the answer is going to be you don't know what freedom really is. You've never asked yourself that, and you're not. That's the answer. I'm literally telling everybody what the answer is. You don't want that to be the answer, okay? It's okay if it's the answer today, but 12 minutes from that, you should be able to start working on that. What is freedom? And then go ask your wife, okay? Because her idea of freedom might be different than yours. Y'all need to sort that out pretty quick. Because her answer may be, well, we own a home, honey, with a white picket fence and 2 cars and 2 babies. Well, the 2 babies is a problem. One, you can't afford them, and the population actually needs 3.3. Right? The house is a problem because you're never going to really own it.
Yeah.
You said you wanted to own a house. Well, you're not going to own the house. You'll never own the house. I'm in a $10 million home right now. I don't own it. The bank owns the house. I don't want to own this fucking house. I want the bank to own it so I can own Bitcoin. I just sold a $2.5 million house, and I bought Bitcoin with it. This question is going to open up so many doors. Some of you men that are alpha dogs, you go home and you ask your wife, what do you think of investing in Bitcoin? Knock it off, dude. Why are you asking someone that knows nothing about big finance what a Bitcoin's worth or whether you should do it? Like why would you ask someone that knows nothing about business? She has no vote, dude. My wife has no vote on the investment thesis. I don't ask her. Well, I don't have one anymore. But I don't ask her. I don't ask what her opinion is. It's not her domain. It is my domain. And if I fuck it up, I'm going to have to go out and fix it. So, and I'm not saying that you guys don't go gamble. There's a lot of you degenerate gamblers that are telling your wife you're a trader and you ain't making any money. Okay, I'd love to get you guys on the phone because you're not making any money trading $12,000 and trading $50 spreads, maybe in Dubai where you're no taxes. But if you're in the US and you're listening to Rand trade Meki coin, he has no tax exposure or legal exposure of any type. But an American citizen is going to pay 42% tax on that trade. So he has to double Rand's position to even break even with Rand. So you see what's happening? I mean, people don't even understand that, dude. Like there's just so much to do. But the freedom thing really will help clarify a lot.
And Gary, I mean, I could do this all night, but I know you're busy, so I'm going to let you go.
Yeah, I'm going to go hang with my girls. I'm going to eat a little turkey sandwich, and then I'm going to go smash them, hopefully not smash them literally, but smash my kids up on jet skis and have some fun this afternoon.
I mean, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I really appreciated having you. I enjoyed our conversation a lot, so thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure anytime. Let me know what I can do to help, okay, sir?
Sounds great.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much, man.